Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Baruch double honors to the apostles and elders in Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well with sincerity, honesty, and integrity. Brothers who's laboring in this truth, salutations to you brothers and you sisters who believe in this truth wholeheartedly and sincerely. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, I'm gonna make this brief through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shai. Um, as you may know, if you haven't heard already, New York is doing New York City train stations, subway stations are gonna do a demo with subway weapons detector, which basically it's going to be a when passengers going into the train station, they'll have to go through this basically sort of like the airport where you walk through and it detects if you have a firearm or not. Um, and that's just the beginning of that law, that martial law that a man desired to go into the city and he can't because they're gonna put up military checkpoints. Initially, they had the National Guard, checking people as they went in and out, checking people, bags and stuff like that. And if you remember, going all the way back to certain instances when the Boston Marathon happened here in Boston, they had checkpoints. They had police. They had I think I don't know if it was they had a heavy uh, police if I'm not mistaken, it was police at the train stations, and they was checking everybody's bags. You got to go through checkpoints, and this is just a sign. All these things that they do, even when it comes to that marathon bombing, you know, it could have, who knows, but I think ultimately they do this man. He has a lot of sorcery, and he works with a lot of witchcraft, and some of the things that you see is psyops. You know, they're they're designed to throw people off and also to implement new legislation. So they can become more draconian with their laws. More severe with their laws, and that's what you're gonna eventually start seeing. As Elder Apostle Gabar coined this year, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. I'm roughly on point with that. The hopeful year, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, right? But as you can see, with all these things happening, you know, uh, food prices rising. So you see the thing what happened over there when the Baltimore Bridge, where that's gonna affect the supply chains over there, and how many people depended on that bridge over there. And also, I think it was in Cleveland. There was a little fire. So a lot of things are going on. The migrants, all right. The migrants is they you got a bunch of gangs within these migrants. You have these they call them the MS-13s and these other gangs that's been set up coming from these different these different what they call them like from prisons and coming from asylums, crazy asylums, insane asylums, Salakia, right? So they know what they're doing, man. They're setting up the stage for chaos, man. Order so they can have order out of chaos. And I always say, we always say here, you know, it's problem reaction solution. So they're gonna create this mass problem, that chaos, and they're gonna come in with the solution, man. People gonna react. People gonna go buck wild. People are not gonna be able to feed their families. People are gonna they're gonna it's gonna be things that's gonna happen. You seen what happened with the whole AT&T situation. Don't be surprised if they shut down communications. It's gonna get ugly. Something's gonna happen where it's gonna get real ugly. But until then, you seeing them setting the stage. See these migrants, they'll kill for nothing. They'll kill for nothing, you know. So, and not all of the migrants, but I'm talking about the ones that came out of those prisons in them insane asylums. These people are just straight criminals, man. Then you got all these things happening, man. And, and Jake caught up with again. Jake caught up with Diddy, man. That's all you see. Diddy, 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 man. And not knowing, man, that's a distraction, man. They know, man. This guy was a mogul. This guy is someone that most people, especially in the Jake community, especially dealing with the Southern Kingdoms, Slovakia, the Southern Kingdom. Jake noticed, man, right, in the Northern Kingdom as well. This man is a mogul, and he's just distraction, a huge distraction that's happening right now, man. If you're not paying attention, it's a huge distraction. And you can see it clear in this day. There go the time 1044. Call on like Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakwadash, man. And that's what we fighting for, man. To be a part of that number, us men that's here laboring in this truth, man. You know, and you sincere, and everybody else is sincere. I know you fighting to be part of that great multitude. You know, but ultimately, man, things is turning up, things is amplifying, things are intensifying. You know, the demons is running rampant, man. We're being chastised. We're going through that furnace of adversity. For those of us who fears the Lord, right? And the Lord, the Lord is gonna put a spirit on us, man. Where we're gonna keep fighting, Lord willing. We gotta pray for that. We gotta ask the Lord to continue to keep His spirit on us, man. As we have all these because our war is not against flesh and blood, man. It's against principalities and demons, man. When you go into Ephesians chapter 6, right? So, man, the things is turning up in the world, man, and right now is just the time to you know what? I'll grab that one precept. And I don't. I'll grab that one precept. Matter of fact, I'll grab a few precepts, and then we'll just keep a few goodies. Same, continue the ones but Second Corinthians 2:11 it reads, "Lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we, who's the we here in the scripture? That's the elect, are not ignorant of his devices, man. And what's part of his devices? Him setting up the stage of anarchy, man, and which is gonna ultimately lead into the MOTB, man, because that's gonna be the solution. The MOTB is gonna be the solution, man. But it's gonna be anarchy, man. It's gonna be anarchy. Then they're gonna look to police. It's gonna turn into almost like it will turn into a police state, martial law. They're gonna shut everything down and start putting, and then they're gonna come out with this universal base. Well, they already have it out, but they're gonna say the only way you can come do this, do that, just like in the time of in 2020 when that whole, that what happened around that time, you know, that bear, that Mexican bear, you know what I'm saying? I think it's a Mexican bear, right? We drink the Mexican beer. You know what I'm talking about. All right. So yeah, man. Things was you couldn't just travel. You had to be an essential worker. It was rules like people. I don't know if they forget, but you had to be 6 feet apart. Certain times you can go actually shop. They didn't want to use paper dollars. It was real structured. They were setting up an infrastructure where they was doing a test run on when they really do come out here and they lock everything down. And the only way you come out if you have you have the MOTB, the C to the H to the I to the P. You seen, if y'all brothers been paying attention, there was this woman that was in the military that they already gave it to her, man. So that's what they're gonna start first, man. Those government positions, the military, those government officials, all the way down to the city, all the way going down to the state and to the city, man. So the government workers, Because remember, even with, again, going back into the icky vicky, if you didn't have the icky vicky, you couldn't work for the government, man. And then a few months later, they opened it back up. You can work for the government if you didn't have the icky vicky, man. Because I remember it was a job that I worked at, and they was like, "Hey, man, if you was here a few months ago, because I got hired after the whole, they got rid of most of their staff. A lot, they had a downsize, but then they started picking things back up, and that's when the government they released that mandatory icky vicky, right? And they was telling me like, man, yeah, if you was here a few months ago, you wouldn't be able to work it. But see, that's how it's gonna be when they implement that M to the O to the T to the B, man. You're not gonna be able to work. You're not gonna be able to work at your job because you're gonna be how you gonna punch in the clock. You're gonna have to use that C to the H to the I to the P. They're gonna monitor every movement. Everything you do, they're gonna monitor it. That's just like going back to what we just seen right here. It's the beginning of monitoring every movement you make, man. Starting with they're gonna use all the transportation. Because even when you go onto the bus, like here in Boston, they have this thing where you're gonna be able to pay with you're gonna be able to scan it. You can scan. They're going away with the money machines, and you can scan your way in. And I think it's with your hand or your palm, if I'm not mistaken. They haven't started it yet, but they already put just like at the Whole Foods, they already put the system there in place, man. So that's what they're doing. They're just building their infrastructure again, putting everything in place. If they got to do a psyop, something to put in place so they can continue to lay down their groundwork, the foundation of what they want to do, they're gonna do it, man. If they gotta put people to death, if there's casualties of war, if casualties of what they want to do, they're gonna do it, man. They don't care. They're gonna do whatever they gotta do to push forward their agenda, man. And that's what you're seeing right now, man. With all these little things coming into play, like I said, the electors not ignorant, man. We're watching. We're knowing exactly what this devil is doing, man. The ones that's been paying attention, they know exactly who's been watching and been praying. So on that watchtower, they know exactly what this devil is doing, man. He's getting closer and closer to, again, all hell breaking loose, and then him coming in with that MOTB, man. And we're cheering it on, man, because we want to get the hell out of here, man. But we know these things have to come to pass, and it's a thing of what they call gradualism. But they got to use gradualism, all right? But let me just grab one more. Again, just wanted to touch on that real briefly. Um, Romans, this is just it, man. Yep, Romans 13:11, right here it reads. Romans 13:11 says, "And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe." Man, it's high time now, man, to wake out of sleep. Let's read in the NLT. It reads, "This is all the more urgent." You gotta have some sense of urgency, man, right? For you know how late it is. Time is running out. Whew. That's a beautiful one right there. Wake up. For our salvation is nearer than we believe, man. For our salvation is nearer now than when we first believed, right? Because it's getting closer and closer. Every day is getting us closer and closer to the end of Esau's kingdom, man. In the beginning of Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. It's kingdom. All right? And we got to get our shit in order, man. Plain and simple. Because it's getting closer, man. For those of us who's in the know, who's in the spiritual circumcision, right? Guess what? We got to get our shit in order, man. And those ones who's on the fence, man, it's high time now, man. Wake out of that sleep, man. It's time to get our ish in order, man, right now, right? Because we gotta because right here it says here Ephesians 5:15 it says, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil, man." So right before the salvation come, we gotta be watching. We gotta be being circumspect, looking what's going around us, man. All right. Like let's read in the NLT. It says, "So be careful how you live. Don't live like fools." All right, but like those who are wise. All right. So we gotta live like those who are wise. All right. Make the most of every opportunity in these evil days. All right. So we gotta make the most of every opportunity to repent back and come to the Lord with a humble and contrite spirit, man. And do our best to be walking in the spirit, man. We know we're in this wicked ass flesh and we want to be delivered out of this flesh, man. And receive those new bodies that's not able to go off, man. That's the times we're living in, man. And we pray, Lord willing, that the Lord, you know, He He has mercy on us, plain and simple. Plain and simple. Because the things is the thing if you're walking if you're walking circumspectly, you're redeeming the time, right? We know that these things is about this shit is about to get real out here, man. And you can feel it, man. You feel it. You know how like Phil Collins, you can feel it in the air. You can feel it in the air, man. All right. So with that, man, again, like the elder in Boston was telling me, just pray, man. You could never do too much praying, man. Just pray, 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 pray without ceasing. And I'm talking to myself first and foremost because that was advice that was given to him, and shared that with me. And it's important to pray without ceasing. All right. So I'm gonna share that with you, through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Shalom to the hopeful elect.